Hey guys, what's up? It is your boy KingPixelver4556 back here once again with another video. And as a bit of a congratulations gift to you all for helping me reach 100 subscribers, thank you all, by the way. I can't thank you for that enough. I am here to propose a hypothetical. That being, what would happen if WWE and AEW went to war? Who would win? How would it go down? What matches would be made? And more importantly, what would the theme song be? I'm at a draw between Last Night on Earth by Power Man 5000 and Poppy's I Disagree, which was used at War Games. Or Villain by Bella Porch again, that'd be good. So put down in the comments what you think the theme would be, because I could see a few good songs being the theme. Ooh, or Poppy Say Cheese, that'd be good. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin. Disclaimer. Some things will be changed around for this what-if scenario. I am splitting up the WWE and Universal World Championships as well as the Tag Team Championships. I'm doing this as, personally for me, seeing Roman and the Usos with one championship matching Kenny and the Young Bucks, that just looks for better visual in my opinion. You could adjust this however you please. And also, I'd like to give a quick shout out and credit to PARTFUNKNOWN for their fantasy booking videos on a WWE AEW war, as well as Murph's. I forget what the numbers are for his name, but I will leave the two videos linked in the description for this. Without further ado, let's get into the war. We open just before Monday Night Raw, when AEW announces that they will run Dark Elevation against the first hour of Monday Night Raw. Throughout the Raw show, numerous talent give little tongue-in-cheek references to the opposing brand running against them. Which, might I say, that would be hilarious. Come Tuesday night on NXT, AEW again runs a special Dynamite show, featuring a few championship matches, although none of the belts change hands, drawing away a good amount of NXT's viewership, similar to the Wednesday Night Wars. Speaking of Wednesday Night Wars, Wednesday Night Dynamite, AEW World Champion MJF references numerous stars and WWE personnel and talent. End of the show, Tony Khan comes out and says that he personally will come to SmackDown, accompanied by some AEW talent. Come SmackDown, we see Triple H and Tony Khan backstage talking. Camera cuts to Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly with Britt Baker, the Original Dispute Era, plus Adam's love interest. Cute. Walking, talking backstage, joking around, stuff like that. When Adam stops them, Britt's staring a hole through somebody. Camera pans over to show Scarlett standing there, looking at them. She eyes the four of them, smiles, and then steps to the side. Karrion Kross walks into frame, gives Kyle and Adam an ominous message, compliments Britt, stares down Bobby, and then leaves. As both Adam and Kyle are scared out of their minds, the camera cuts back to the rest of the broadcast. Along with this SmackDown special edition right here, a few other stare-downs / face-offs are made, such as Liv Morgan and Ruby Soho, Shayna Baszler and Legit Layla Hirsch, Rey Mysterio and Rey Fenix, Battle of the Rays, Dominic Mysterio and Penta El Zero Miedo, Damian Priest and Lance Archer, Rhea Ripley and a few others from the women's division, Io Shirai, Mandy Rose, and Dakota Kai, joke that the women's division in AEW is much weaker than WWE's due to them not having a woman with the hardest kicks, such as Dakota Kai, a genius a genius of the sky like Io Shirai, Io Sky, or the third longest reigning, soon to be first longest reigning NXT Women's Champion like Mandy Rose, or an Eradicator like Rhea Ripley. At the end of the night, Roman Reigns and the Usos are in the ring alongside Triple H and Tony Khan. The two heads of their companies announce that WWE and AEW will have a Survivor Series style pay-per-view event around the two companies going to war, and it will be based off of a point system. much similar to the actual Survivor Series concept itself, where whichever side with the most amount of points will win and be declared the quote-unquote ultimate wrestling promotion. After this little announcement is made, the Elite come out. As the Young Bucks stare down the Usos, Kenny Omega eyes Roman Reigns' Universal Championship. Later that same night, after SmackDown on AEW Rampage, MJF once again takes a crack at WWE, but the show goes on as normal. Some WWE talent is seen backstage, and it is announced that on both Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown, all the World Championships, both men's and women's, will be defended in order for both sides to have the best of their best going forward. On Raw, some AEW talent, alongside World Champion MJF, is at Raw, scouting, checking, getting a bit of an edge on their opponent, if you will. During a basic tag team match between the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy, Kevin Patrick on commentary says there's some commotion backstage. As the camera pans backstage, we see the Elite, the Young Bucks and Omega, in a limo. The Bloodline, those being Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa, are out injured. Well, got injured. Along with numerous talent, both men and women, from both sides in an all-out melee. Back in the ring, the lights go out. When they come back on, the House of Black, Julia Hart, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Malachi Black are in the ring. They have invaded Monday Night Raw. They lay everybody out. Cody Rhodes comes rushing out to the ring, as he has a deep connection and history with Malachi Black, knowing what he is very well capable of doing. He stares down Malachi. When it looks like he's about to throw a punch at him, Montez Ford, who's standing by his side, gets up. Cody kicks him in the gut, flips him around, lays him out with the crossroads. Cody has left back to AEW and stabbed Triple H and WWE in the back. End of Raw. The championship results are as follows. The almighty Bobby Lashley has taken back the WWE World Championship. DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa have taken back the Raw Tag Team Championships. Big Time Becky Lynch had taken the Raw Women's title. Braun Breaker on NXT the next night announced that he'd being called to fight for NXT on the main roster's behalf. The crowd and fellow star, both face and heel themselves, cheer him on with NXT, 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 ringing throughout the arena. And that's all we hear from him for NXT. Wednesday night on Dynamite, Kenny Omega facing MJF opening the show for the World Championship. While the ref are distracted, Adam Cole slides in and lays in a last shot to the back of MJF's head, allowing Omega to take the long Dangerjoy and pick up the win, becoming the World Champion in the process. As Omega is celebrating, he turns right into a super kick from Adam Cole. Boom. Young Bucks shove him back and ask what's going on. They get jumped by Fish and O'Reilly, who are joined by another man in a black balaclava. The man pulls it off to reveal Roderick Strong. The four members of the Undisputed Era, Cole, Fish, O'Reilly, Strong, are back, and they are on Dynamite, wreaking havoc like they used to back on the black and gold. Britt Baker comes out and is yelling, berating Adam Cole, but she turns, gets dropped, courtesy of Becky Lynch. As security rushes out to ringside, along with AEW President Tony Khan, the Five book it. Khan came out to both berate them and make sure everything was going correctly after everything appeared to go out of control or quote-unquote off script. Later on in the show, Cody Rhodes comes out and gives an explanation for his actions the night prior on Raw. Two nights prior on Raw, saying, "You thought I would stay with WWE? I was one of the four original founders of this company, or the four EVPs. I'm not going to throw all of that away because some greedy old man had me come back and beat his top pupil, and because he paid me to be at a pay-per-view or two. I'm not going to do that." And on the topic of that, taking a sledgehammer to the throne, I've got a lot more shots to be fired, a lot more punches to be thrown. Just you wait and see. Giving a little bit of a jab to Triple H and Seth. At the end of the night, the Young Bucks have secured the tag team titles. Kenny Omega is the world champion. Dr. Britt Baker, your women's world champion. Jade Cargill still retains the women's world title. The TNT champion will not be factored in as mid-card champions. I'm not doing just the world champions. And speaking of end of the night, Darby Allin is facing someone in a random one-off match. The lights go out. When they come back on, the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, is back. He has laid Darby Allin out with his sister Abigail. Sting jumps in the ring. Back gets knocked out of his hands. Planted to the ground with a mandible claw. Boom! Laid out once again with his sister Abigail as well. Numerous talent from both WWE and AEW are engaged in an all-out melee. It is pandemonium. It is pure havoc. It is pure chaos, and it is glorious. But WWE is losing the numbers game. There are too many from AEW. When Roman Reigns' theme hits, he walks out. The Usos precede him. Lay out the Young Bucks with dual super kicks. Roman runs down the ramp, lands a big Superman punch onto Miro, dropping him, who's picked up by McIntyre and hit with an overhead belly-to-belly. Pretty close to the steps. Roman's laying out anyone and anything that moves, with Superman punches, spears, uppercuts, the whole nine. He sees Kenny Omega in the ring, steps in, nobody else in there, just the two of them, the two heads, the two champions are about to go down. Roman lays him out with a Superman punch and locks in the guillotine submission, making him go out. He throws him to the side as the rest of the men and women that are there for WWE's side come into the ring. Triple H's theme hits. He comes down, decks Tony Khan with a sledgehammer. He gets on the mic, and reminiscent of when NXT, November, I believe it was 3rd, invaded SmackDown in 2019, gives a very similar declaration. Harking back to when they created the New Age Outlaws and X-Pac. All the way back on Raw, all that time ago, declaring war on the World Wrestling Federation, he says the following. Totality! AEW versus WWE. AEW, Tony, you want to pick a fight with us? Well, if we're gonna have a fight, then I'm gonna need an army. What do you do when you want to build an army? You look to your blood, you look to your family, and you build an army for a fight. This is our army. This is our fight. This is our ring. And at Totality, know what you're getting into. We have now fired the first shot. AEW, let's see what you got. Just remember one thing. We are WWE. Triple H throws the mic down, throws up dual two sweets. Everybody else does their signature pose as Dynamite goes off the air. Over the following weeks, leading up to the big pay-per-view, things heat up on both sides. Some obvious prediction matches are made, such as Roman Reigns and Kenny Omega as the main event, preceded by the Usos versus the Young Bucks. Finn Balor, actually, on Raw one night, says, how come I'm left out of this big event? I practically made the Bullet Club. So, theoretically, Kenny, Cody, Matt, Nick, everybody else is living off of my legacy. When the OC come out, he goes on the mic and says, Finn, speaking of the old club, old friend of yours actually reached out to me. Some fans already know what's coming. Gallows and Anderson then say, yeah, you might even say he switches on people. Balor is still confused. He's not accompanied by the Judgment Day this time. He came out alone, as Judgment Day is, for one, healing up after the melee, and two, warming up for other matches they had that night. This OC step aside, throw up two sweets, a switchblade hits. The former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Switchblade Jay White, the current leader of the Bullet Club, walks out. Balor is shocked, looking like he's seen a ghost. The announcers poring over who Jay is, his connection with Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, and that he is the current leader of the club. Him and Balor have a deep, deep history dating all the way back to the UK before the club was even formed. Jay steps in the ring, looks like he's going for a hug, lays Balor out with a Blade Runner, before looking at the camera, doing his signature cutthroat motion, and throwing up a too sweet. Later on, in a move that no one saw coming, Tony Khan brings back CM Punk after the fiasco that was the AEW All Out post-media scrum, which Punk famously got into a backstage altercation, along with a good buddy Ace Steel, again falling under Christopher Daniels and the Elite, leading to all of them being heavily suspended and fined. Triple H says, "So, you brought back old Phil, huh? In that case, I've got somebody." Triple H says that this guy that he is bringing out is his chosen one, his doomsday bringer. That man being Karrion Kross, accompanied by Scarlett. Triple H later on announces that due to Cody Rhodes stabbing them in the back, leaving WWE again, that Cody will face a beast, the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. Cody begrudgingly accepts. Adam Cole, priding himself on dropping Omega weeks back, is begging for a match to be put on this big event. I mean, he's Adam Cole, baby. Might as well, right? Don Callis, Omega's manager, says that since Kenny is fighting Roman in the main event, he cannot fight Adam Cole, as he wouldn't risk jeopardizing himself. But a replacement was found for him. A man who knows Omega like the back of his hand. They're like brothers, actually. He was more than happy to face Adam Cole, that being Kota Ibushi. He jumps out from behind, laying him out with the Kamigoye. Come time for the pay-per-view, called Totality. It's being held at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. 2 referees from each side, 4 in total, 1 male, 1 female, will be switched every other match in order to prevent it from being biased. The 2 referees from AEW being Earl Hebner and Aubrey Edwards, from WWE being Charles Robinson and Jessica Carr. The victors of the matches are as follows. Hikaru Shida beats Asuka. Miro beats Drew McIntyre, reversing a Claymore kick. Karrion Kross utterly decimates CM Punk. Randy Orton beats Hangman Page via an RKO off a buckshot lariat into a stiff punt kick. Lays him out with a concerto after, too. MJF beats out The Miz with a Dynamite Diamond Ring, crack to the face despite Maurice's interference. Blackpool Combat Club beats Imperium. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Big Time Dex, Big Time Becky Lynch. Alexa Bliss beats Abaddon. Liv Morgan beats out Ruby Soho. Kevin Owens brutally lays out Chris Jericho, beating him as well. Kota Ibushi gets justice for Omega and beats Adam Cole. Jade Cargill continues her undefeated streak, beating Bianca Belair. Private Party, best of the Street Profits. Rey Mysterio beats out Rey Fenix. The Fiend utterly destroys Darby Allin. Hard to watch at some points. Shayna Baszler defeats legit Layla Hirsch via knee strike into a Kirifuda clutch. The almighty Bobby Lashley beats the Machine. Brian Cage, speaking of the ages, Christian Cage beats his old tag partner Edge. The Murderhawk Monster Lance Archer beats the Punisher of the Judgment Day. Damian Priest, Penta Cero Miedo, beats Ol Latino Heat, Dominic Mysterio. The men's WWE team, that being Sheamus, NXT champion Braun Breaker, Johnny Gargano and Pete Dunne loses to the men's AEW team, that being Buddy Matthews, Malachi Black, Samoa Joe, and the Blaster Pack. On the contrary, the women's WWE team, being the Eradicator, Rhea Ripley, NXT Women's Champion, Mandy Rose, Io Shirai, and Dakota Kai, beats the women's AEW team, that being Athena, Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm, and Thunder Rosa. Seth Rollins beats Jon Moxley in a no-holds-barred match with a barbed wire wrapped curb stomp onto the steel steps for the win. Seth then locks in a new submission move, half Nelson neck crank, which he dubs Crimson Visions. The Usos beat the Young Bucks. It's down to the wire, split 50-50, 13-13 apiece. One last match, the main event between the two heads of their companies, a 1 hour length New Japan style match between the two men, the two heads of their companies for over 2 years. Roman Reigns, the longest reigning modern day champion in WWE's history, the undisputed tribal chief, stands across the ring from the cleaner, the best bout machine, 1/3 of the elite, a man who at one point held 4 championships from 3 different companies. The man who is loved by Meltzer stars and Japan alike, Kenny by God Omega. It's a hard-hitting affair, both men giving it all they have, and then some. It's a hard-hitting match. Both calling back to earlier points in their careers, Roman hitting a spinning sit-out powerbomb, and Kenny hitting a Snapdragon suplex off the very top of the turnbuckle, onto the outside, no less. A little modification of what he did to Kazuchika Okada. Focusing on Roman's arm, his left arm, more specifically, as that is the one he locked in the guillotine submission with. Roman catches him with a few right shots until Omega lands a high-impact V-trigger on Roman. Twice. Staggering the head of the table heavily. Omega lifts Roman up, splits the ways, lands the one-winged angel. Nobody in WWE or AEW, that is not Omega himself, had kicked out of this maneuver. The announcers, everyone backstage, Khan, Hunter, they believe it's done. AEW has won. Omega covers Roman. 1, 2, at the last possible second. Split second before the ref's hand hits. Roman kicks out of the one-winged angel. Everyone is shocked. Omega himself, Callis, who's at ringside, the Young Bucks and the Usos watching from backstage, Khan, Triple H, the announcers, everyone is in awe. They're in shock. Omega, knowing what's about to happen, lowers his knee pad, hits his knee a few times, goes, bounces off the ropes like a frisbee, bouncing back and forth, building up as much momentum as he can. Roman makes it to his feet, uses all of Omega's built-up momentum against him, spearing him, letting all that weight, all that power crash back down onto him with one shot, that being his devastating spear finish. Roman covers Omega. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns has won 14-13. WWE wins by 1 point. And they're declared the Ultimate Wrestling promotion. Everybody from both sides come out. Roman gets on the mic and says, AEW, acknowledge me. He gives the mic to Kenny. Kenny then says into the mic, still trying to catch his breath from the spear, I acknowledge you. As he throws the mic down, a coin drop is heard over the Titantron. Jay White, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, the Good Brothers, everyone that's ever been in Japan is shocked. They look at the ramp. The Usos, Solo Sikoa, rest of Bloodline, and Roman look shocked. Omega is in disbelief. Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, wrestling's gold standard and the current IWGP Heavyweight Champion, makes his way down the ramp, steps into the ring, looks at Roman, looks at Kenny, looks back at Roman, smiles, and then strikes his signature pose. As totality, the pay-per-view goes off the air. So, yeah, that is how I would book a WWE AEW style brand versus brand, promotion versus promotion war. Tell me what you would change, what you would add, who you would have taken out, and who you would add back. Do you feel I missed one of your favorite stars, men, women, tag team, whatever? Yeah. So, few little things I want to clarify here. When I said that no one kicked out of the One Wing Danger, you might be thinking, didn't Omega himself kick out of it at Full Gear, and then Kota Ibushi a while back in Japan? Um, as for that, I specifically said AEW or WWE has kicked out of the One Wing Danger and not New Japan, even though yes, Ibushi was at the pay-per-view fighting Cole. And second, I'm only counting it if Kenny himself hits it. So Hangman Page hitting it on Omega and Kenny kicking out at 2, I'm not counting that. Other thing, I have a few people that are out injured for this, such as Sami Zayn, Solo Sikoa, as I couldn't figure out where to, well, put them. I also roped in Switchblade Jay White and Golden Star Kota Ibushi, as I believe that that would flow better as Omega and Ibushi were tag team, plus Ibushi and Cole. That'd be a good match, along with Jay White and Balor's coming to a tie. That would come to a tie, by the way. So, yeah. For any of you keeping track, yeah, Balor and White is a tie. Neither can make it to a count of 10. Yeah. Also, mini little book club reunion. I was thinking of putting that in there. Decided against it last minute. So, yeah, with that out of the way, that's how I would book it. Once again, big thank you to PARTFUNKNOWN and Murph's YouTube for giving me inspiration to make this very wonderful video. Yeah, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment, ring that little bell, share with your friends and family, or just someone else that you know that likes AEW, WWE, or New Japan Pro Wrestling. As such, I have been your gracious host and content creator, Silver, and I would like to say thank you all for both 100 subscribers, and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year to you all. Here's to 2023, and to some more good wrestling. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one. See ya!